Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good time zone wherever you're from. Thank you for coming in. Oh boy, my pause game is so good. So today I'm going to cover 3 streams. One from Erin's channel, her latest live stream, and then one from Shawn's channel, and then one from Meghan's channel. Yeah, we should have audio. We should have audio. Yes, we have got audio, and I will make sure that the desktop audio is on when we start. Yeah, thanks for the approval, Intrigue. Thanks a lot. So yeah, as I stream more, better I become at it, and the less mistakes I make, I guess. So yeah, let me just make sure that the transcript is visible. So yeah, that will be. So what I'm going to do is, last time what I did was from each live stream, I picked 10 most important timestamps that I thought I should talk about. This time I'm going to reduce the number a bit because I want to see if I can finish it within 3 or 3.5 hours. I want to make sure of that. Yes, Erin was not doing good in that stream. I don't know why she did that. I guess because she heard me saying that, since I covered a stream, she didn't stream at all. So, also, my new background. How do you guys think? What do you guys think of my new background? These are decals I ordered off Amazon, and I think they look nice. So yeah, let me just adjust my camera, like, short a little bit. I don't want to cut my head off. Okay. And Intrigue from the live chat, I was just checking and assuring you wouldn't be the first time you ramble and then find out that you have been on mute for 5 minutes. You think it's cute? Oh my god. Look at me without my dentures also. Am I still cute? So, my gums have been hurting, so yeah. The body language language cues and the stress was oozing. If you want, we can have a look at her and let go of the transcript. I've got the closed captions on. So the closed captions are on, so Intrigue should be okay with that. So we can just look at her face, and Jack can get a chance to do their body analysis and facial analysis as we go in the live chat. So yeah, so what I've done this time is I brought down the timestamps from 10 most important timestamps to 7 most important timestamps from each live stream. And I've realized this is better for me to go about it because then I do tend to ramble on and I do tend to repeat myself a lot, so it helps to bring down the time of the streaming. So you might be off to bed soon. You're a little tired. Yeah, sure, man, it's okay, no worries. I can go back to the transcript after a while. That's not a problem. We are listening to Erin anyways. We are not watching her facial expressions at this time. So yeah, hopefully. Let me just see if I can just make sure my notes are there. My notes are here with me. Good. Okay. So the timestamp I'm going to start with is 7:39. Right? So basically the thing is to point out how Erin does not understand law, number 1. Number 2, how she does not, her logical fallacies and her rhetorical, mistakes that she makes. So yeah. What? Yeah? Why? I've got a weird schedule. Yes, I do. It's a weekend. Leave me alone, Intrigued. Yes, I have a weird schedule. I want to get this done as soon as possible because we have the debate hub also in 5 hours, so I want to be fresh for that. And then I want a nap. That's why. Yes, it is the weekend, and I stream during the weekend to de-stress. All right, leave me alone. Leave me alone. All right, cool. So we'll start with Erin's stuff, and the first timestamp I'm gonna go is to 7:40 and 10:50. So the idea is, again, I'll repeat myself before we start again, that to show that Erin doesn't understand law. she talks very loosely about things, and she contradicts herself a lot. Her logical fallacies and her rhetorical fallacies, and as compared to her behavior in the past also, and hopefully as compared to her behavior around her own court case also, to show that she has a very strict rules for others, but for herself she decides that rules don't apply to her at all. But she is very she wants everyone else to follow the rules, right? So that's what we're gonna do. So 739. That's what we're gonna start with. Erin doesn't understand law. Shocked Pikachu face, right? Oh. All right, let's see. Sorry, what was it? 739. Here we go. So I'm gonna make sure the desktop audio is on. Here we go, and this is on full blast. So, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring mine down. Can I do that? Yeah. No, actually I should keep it up so that everyone. Alrighty, let's go. Let's go.
So, all right. So here we have a screenshot. Now we're gonna start off with the recent ones that she's put up regarding the.
This screenshot is so small. Like, why? Let me just see if I can. That's the maximum quality, and the screenshot is so small. Let me just see if I can make it bigger. The first thing first, right? The screenshot is so freaking small. I'll try and read it for you guys, yeah? Give me a sec. So it says, it's without a crystal ball. Obviously, this is about without a crystal ball. Before we start, I was looking at a description at what she linked, right? She's saying she's talking about some Minnesota things and things of past. Again, the thing is that she goes so far back to talk about things. She doesn't have anything new to talk about. Like, the length of a stream, if we talk about this, is just 1 hour 31 minutes, and then she's going to talk about things of the past in this. And if you look at the video she's linked in the description, right? It's from a video that's 4 years ago, that was done in 2021 on a channel. It's so far back. Like, this is like, wow.
What do we have here?
So I'm just like, I'm astounded sometimes. Like, she has nothing new to talk about, right? It's sad. It's really sad. Going back to the timestamp. Sorry guys, I got a little distracted, but I had to talk about this. So, here we go. So if I
all right. So here we have a screenshot. Now,
so what Katie Joy is saying, just found out that one of my house cleaners was arrested last week by ICE. He had been here legally for years after being granted asylum by the United States government. He was picked up at his home last week, and he has been in jail since. The agency we use only here hires immigrant with legal papers to work. Okay, yeah, the agency we use only hires immigrants with legal papers to work, and asylum granted by previous administrations are wiped as though it never happened. This is outrageous.
Now we're going to start off with the recent ones that she's put up regarding the ICE,
something new, I guess.
ICE occupation there in Minnesota and the recent murders by ICE agents.
I did check the link. It was in 2021, not 2020. Excuse me. Excuse me. Woo. Excuse my.
And I use the word
allergies.
Agents loosely. So it says here, just found out. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like the total like social deafness. Just found out that one of my house cleaners was arrested last night by ICE. He had been here legally for years after being granted asylum by the United States government. He was picked up at his home last week, and he's been in jail since. Does she really check that? Like, come on. I don't think she checks that. I don't think most people would check that, really. But
that's a fair assumption to make. Like,
and asylum granted by previous administrations are wiped as though it never happened. This is outrageous. Now, that I did hear has been happening, but not just to
Where did you hear that? That's my first question. Where did you hear that happening? You're asking Katie Joy, whether she checked that, whether they, the papers and stuff, right? But where did you get the information from? So you see the two prongs. She wants Katie Joy to follow very strict rules, but herself, she just says things without providing anything to show for it, right?
Like asylum seekers or, you know, immigrants, but also to like United States born citizens, like people have been deemed like under suspicion or investigation for like terroristic activities or some shit just because they went to a protest or two, and they were born here and they've had like
okay, I'm gonna go.
Like, that's crazy, right? Okay, here we have. Where's my drink? Door to door without a judicial order or warrant. They're pounding on doors of literally every home and demanding people show their papers. It is illegal for ICE to detain anyone on private property or at a private residence without a warrant. I think it's kind of illegal for them to do a lot of shit without a warrant, right? This is not stopping ICE from harassing whole...
Again, so she's asking questions. She's loosely putting out questions in order to like discredit the person who's in the screenshot. And the thing is that, Erin, what are you adding to the conversation here? You're just reading someone else's screenshot at this time.
Neighborhoods. And for those claiming people are resisting, yeah, that's not true. They are tackling, using tear gas, and putting guns in the faces of witnesses and neighbors documenting their criminal acts. Yeah. ICE is not here for any person specifically. They are literally pulling over anyone that is black or brown. They are arresting U.S. citizens. They are dragging women on the ground. This is not how immigration enforcement works. Now, this was actually a good post by her, I think. You got to give credit where credit's due, I think. And I do think that this was a good post by her. Okay, so here's what I don't get. Part of me can kind of understand not wanting to go to the protests and everything, get involved maybe if you're fearful. And I don't blame you if you're fearful.
Oh my God.
If they were like right down the street.
What happened to your audio, Erin? Showing your folder structure where you store your crap isn't wise. Oh my God. Yeah, nah, it's not wise. Yeah, it's just performative. All this is performative intellect, right? And yeah. So it's give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So yeah, quite being a fascist Barbie. So let's see what she has to say here, right? Let's see, that was where's the timestamp that I really wanted to? So she's gonna talk about Alright, let's go.
Give credit where credit's due, I think. And I do think that this was a good post by her.
By what standards, I would ask? Like, by what standards is this post, like, good according to you? Right? Is it the information? Like, is she standing up for people? That is why. What is your standard? I don't understand. EMP from the live chat. All these years and she still has no damn clue how to go live direct via OBS, so damn inept. She used to use StreamYards before and now she has, yeah, now she has decided to use OBS for some reason. I guess because I called her out on it that, she's like, why would someone use OBS, right? So yeah. So yeah, So here we go. Here are my notes. So yeah, so giving credit is fine, but what standards are you using, Erin? Right? And then it just becomes a vibe check, right? I'm not criticizing Katie Joy. I'm criticizing Erin. Like, what standards are you using? And also, one good post, doesn't validate the rest of the claims someone makes, right? You need to go with the part is accurate because of this. This part is unsupported because of why. Otherwise, credit is where is due is just rhetorical skincare at this point, right? Something like she applies so the audience thinks that she's being a healthy criticizer, right? And even if the logic underneath all of this doesn't mean anything, right? Because, as I said, she wants to ask, she wants to speculate whether Katie Joy checked what she was saying about papers and stuff, right? But herself, when she says, oh yeah, I heard this, I saw that, she doesn't present anything to verify. So that was it is. So next one is 1029. Let's start here.
Okay, so here's what I don't get. Part of me can kind of understand not wanting to go to the protests and everything, get involved maybe if you're fearful. And I don't blame you if you're fearful. If they were like right
down. Audio is so shit. Oh my god, her audio is so shit. It's like, come on, girl. She's using StreamYards? Oh, okay. She's not even using OBS anymore. Okay, I guess she tried and then she gave up.
On the street for me or something, or like the next town over, executing people, I think I'd be pretty fearful myself. So I'm not at all judging it. But I want to cover more of it than just from my office inside my home, I don't know. I feel like that this is like, it's a shitty event, but it's still a historical event, and it's one that needs to be witnessed by as many people as possible, and even for generations to come. So they're not going to be able to witness it if we don't have people bearing witness,
So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to go out and witness for the future generations? Is that what you're going to do? Like, she's trying to over here hold two ideas, right? Fear is understandable and documenting event matters, right? That's reasonable, but what she's doing is she slips into this moral pressure. If we don't witness, future generations won't know. That frames people who stay at home as failing a civic duty, even though safety, childcare, immigration risk, disability, etc., can go make witnesses generally, dangerous. And the thing is that, what is she doing? She's also sitting here in her seat and critiquing someone else who's actually talking about something that has happened around them in real life in terms of immigration and ICE and stuff. So it's really rich coming from Erin sitting at home criticizing others who are sitting at home too and saying, oh, why aren't you going out there and witness it? I get it that you might get arrested and stuff, but why aren't you witnessing it while she's just herself sitting at home behind a camera? I don't do that because I don't claim to do that. But I don't say why aren't others doing it too. I'm pointing out Erin doing that. Yeah, she's using a bad dial-up or something. OBS is easy. I'm using OBS at this moment. That's what I'm doing. I'm using OBS. So yeah, so she tries to start out with empathy. I don't blame people for being fearful, and then she quietly turns it into a moral assignment. But we need people to bear witness. That sounds very noble, Erin, but it's also pressure disguised as principle. Not everyone can safely bear witness, right, in the streets. And then you don't get to guilt trip vulnerable people into risking their, liberty and their freedom so that you can feel like that history is being properly documented. If you want witnessing, promoting safe documentation, verified reporting, or legal observers, community organizations, mutual aid, or secure ways to share video, empathy isn't real, right? Go out and do it, if you want to do all that. But empathy isn't real if it just evaporates the moment it becomes inconvenient for you. You're just sitting on your seat behind a camera, right? The next timestamp is the next one itself, so we'll go and talk about that. So.
I get this was her attempt to be funny, and kudos for her for trying, but Democratic ICE takes down ICE officer, Minneapolis, 111-26. This had a video attached to it where an ICE agent was like running after some people filming him, and he slipped and fell on the ice. So she's saying that the Democratic ICE takes down the ICE officer. Like the ice in the ground is partisan. I get it. I mean, it was a good attempt to be funny, I guess. I think it fell crazy short. A lot of the ICE agents aren't from Minnesota. They are being sent from the southern border, and they are falling and slipping. We had an ice storm last week, so some parts of the roads are slippery. Can't run like this in Minnesota. Fuck around and find out. I watch this clip from 5 different angles, and it makes me laugh every time. I do have to agree with that. It is quite humorous. Yeah.
So, what she's doing is, she says that she's criticizing the joke, right? She's saying, oh, the joke is falling short. But it's the deeper issue is the tone management, right? She's talking about, if I'm not wrong, I think crazy fell short. Okay, let me just listen to it again. Give me 1 minute.
I get it. I mean, it was a good attempt to be funny, I guess. I think it fell crazy short. A lot of the ICE agents aren't from Minnesota. They are being sent from the southern border, and they are falling and slipping. We had an ice storm last week, so some parts of the roads are slippery. Can't.
Okay, so what is she doing is, like, she's talking about executing people in historical events and all that. Pivoting into slapstick and all that. That's not automatically wrong. Gallows humor exists, but she never explains what the ethical line is. Like, she is actually doing aesthetic policing. That's what she's doing here. It's not funny enough. Instead of the principle of what is appropriate here, right? Yeah, she made a joke. Okay, she fell short. This is just tonal chaos. That's what she's trying to do here. 2 minutes ago, it's people are being executed and history must be witnessed, and then it's Democratic ICE takes down ICE. Haha, the ICE is partisan. Listen, gallows humor can be valid, but if your critique is just that the joke wasn't good, you have reduced ethics to comedy review, right? How is it not good? Either make the case that the joke here is harmful because it trivializes suffering, or admit humor is coping mechanism and you're just judging, someone's delivery. That's all you're doing. But don't pretend it's moral analysis when it's really just, I didn't laugh hard enough. Alright, Erin, just come on. It's pathetic. This is pathetic. Yeah, Google Translate picking up the snorts. Yeah, snorted some pattern before. Oh, I don't know. So yeah, so it's just like, you're just humor policing and tonal policing. Like, why is it not humorous? Can you explain? Okay. Alright. Let's go with this one.
Okay. And here we have, I don't want to go to war with Venezuela. I don't want Greenland. I don't want war with Iran. I don't want citizens and immigrants harassed by Border Patrol. What is America First about? Starting wars with our allies? I had to read that like 3 times to realize where she missed the punctuation and how it probably should sound.
Erin, your punctuation is bad too. We have seen it so many times. So you're trying to police someone else's punctuation? Okay.
So I think I got it right. I'm terrified for our country, scared for my neighbors, heartbroken for my son and all children.
Good night, MP. Take care. Megan Fox, giant boost from the live chat. You don't get to police tone when you resort to violence the moment your feelings get hurt. Yeah, she hangs out with Shawn, who is so vitriolic, who talks so like in such vile manner about women she doesn't agree with. So yeah, she has no right to go around and try and police someone else's jokes for that matter. So yeah.
In our country, and terrified for our country is systemically being destroyed. This is not 1939. This is not Germany and the SS. This is not Adolf Hitler's regime. This is the United States, and I'm...
Hey, Erin, was Hitler even German? He's asking. Hawk Skull from the live chat. EMP Network, you know you're getting old when you're going to bed at 9 p.m. on a Saturday night. Sweetest dreams. Lovely. Yeah.
I'm terrified. I want my son, neighbors, family, and community to live in peace. To all the countries that the United States is harming, I do not condone or endorse any of the violence that's occurring in our world. And, you know, it's a good thing she said that, because, I mean, what, were they going to mistake her for someone who, I mean, I get like making a statement for people around you, you know, so they know where you stand or whatever. But she's like, to all these foreign countries, when you come for us, just know that I was on your side. Like, that's how it sounds to me.
Okay. So, she mocks punctuation and reading comprehension. That's a cheap dunk, right? We know that. And then avoids the hard work. That's addressing the argument. You know, also, I don't want the war with Greenland, whatever, pile up as a classic rhetorical stacking technique. It blends distinct issues into one doom salad, so audience feels overwhelmed and agrees emotionally. Okay. She spends time clowning punctuation because it's easier than addressing the substance. But the bigger rhetorical move is stacking, right? And then she creates this emotional overload, not clarity. Right? All of them have, I get it, all of them have different loads, different contexts, and, you know, different realities. So it's just like she's not explaining everything here. She's just laughing. That's all she's doing. Right? So if you want to claim credibility, pick one claim and talk about it. It's just apocalypse collage if you're just laughing at it, right? It's what, in my opinion, what Erin is doing here is she's overreaching, right? She's doing a lot of mind reading here, and then she's also she's not just saying that this is reading performative. What she's also doing is she's assigning motive and meaning, like, and she's going for the most cringe interpretation here, right? That's what she's trying to do here, going for the most cringe interpretation that's possible. And then she's creating false dilemma. A statement can be not practically protective and still be socially meaningful, signaling to your community, clarifying values, you know, encouraging others. Erin acts like it's not directly useful to foreign countries. It's absurd, right? And then again, tone policing and as argument. She's not really rebutting the substance, harm, violence, or policy. As I said before, she's just dunking on the vibe of the message. That's fine for comedy, but it's not analysis, right? That's all it is. And this is all interpretation cosplay here. She reads a line like, to the countries the US is harming, I don't condone violence, and instead of engaging the point, she turns it into a little screenplay. When you come for us, just know I was on your side. That's not critique, that's mind reading with a smirk. If she wants, if Erin wants to argue it's performative, fine, say that, right? But don't pretend your most sarcastic paraphrases what the text actually says. Right? She's being sarcastic, but that's not what the text says here. People make, you know, broad moral statements for their own communities to clarify, as I said, values, right? To push back on dehumanization, etc. It can come across as cringe. It might be imperfect. But Erin's move is to take ambiguity and choose the interpretation that makes the speaker look ridiculous. That's what she's trying to do here. And that's how she avoids the substance. She doesn't rebut arguments, she rebuts the version she invents. She does that all the time. Nervous laughs a counter, that will be too much for me. I'll get distracted, dude. I'll get really, really distracted. Alright. Let's see the next one. That's done. This one. The next one that I want to have a look at is... Let's see. Let's see. 1407, 1420. Let's see.
I mean, probably.
Okay, let's have a look at this one, yeah.
I do not, and violence is occurring in our world. Ever since Trump was forced to release the Epstein files, he has gone nuclear, which tells me he's just like Epstein. I mean, probably, maybe. I mean, it's definitely a good possibility anyways. But I don't think it's because of ICE that he's like Epstein. Anyways, today he said F you to a man who called him a PDF file protector. He's not mad about inflicting damage and people dying. He's afraid the truth is coming up. And, you know, and I've seen this claim a lot over the past few days. Like, all of this is like deflection because of the files and whatnot. Why is
there we go.
Sorry. I guess I had it plugged into my speakers and shit.
Yeah, that's called straw manning and faulty reasoning, yeah. Oops. Ah!
Oh, okay. Alright, sorry. I'm going to be going somewhere with a girlfriend of mine in a little while, and yeah, she's still going to be like 2 hours before she gets here. Am I kidding? So, anyway, okay. Amanda Cullen. I don't think, okay, so I've heard a lot of people say like this is deflection because of the Epstein files and everything, you know, like they're trying to take attention from that. But you see, none of this stuff happening in Minnesota is really painting Trump in any better of a picture than the Epstein file. I mean, it may not be like, okay, so the Epstein files is like 1,000% bad, and this would be like 995% bad. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's deflection. I think that's the kind of administration he runs. I can't help but to think that a deflection would be something that painted him in a decent light and or his opponents in a shitty light. But I don't know, because I just don't understand the whole point of a deflection if you're going to keep making yourself look bad. Almost as bad as the original thing that you're trying to deflect from. You know what I mean?
What? It is the reverse. He's trying to borrow anything Epstein by creating other emergencies, like with ICE, with Venezuela, like with Greenland, like with Canada again. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's happening here. So yeah, that's what's happening, right? So Erin doesn't know how to recognize that. Again, it's like, what is Erin trying to do here? Is she criticizing the poster, or she's criticizing Trump here? Right? She doesn't make it clear. Right? So if we go back and listen to this again, right? 1407. There we go. Just listen to this again.
Release the Epstein files. He has gone nuclear, which tells me he's just like Epstein. I mean, probably, maybe. I mean, it's definitely a good possibility anyways. But I don't think it's because of ICE that he's like Epstein. Anyways, today he said F you to a man who called him a PDF file protector. He's not mad about inflicting damage and people dying. He's afraid the truth is coming out. And and I've seen this claim a lot over the past few days. Like, all of this is like deflection because of the files and whatnot. Where's my sorry? I guess I had it plugged into my speakers and shit.
Then she gets distracted. It's so stupid. Okay.
Okay. So I've heard a lot of people say like this is deflection because of the Epstein files and everything. Like they're trying to take attention from that. But you see, none of this stuff happening in Minnesota is really painting Trump in any better of a picture than the Epstein file. I mean, it may not be like it. Okay, so the Epstein files is like 1,000%.
Okay, so what she's doing is there's happening like argument from repetition, right? And then she's like, oh, I've heard it from other people. That's what she's saying. I'm like, where did you hear this from? What are your sources? But she just sits there and then she just cooks up these things. And
this would be like 995% bad. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's deflection. I think that's the kind of administration he runs. I can't help but to think that a deflection would be something that painted him in a decent light and or his opponents in a shitty light. But I don't know, because I just don't understand the whole.
Okay, so over here she's saying that deflection would be something that painted him in a decent light. If you keep making yourself look bad, I don't see the point. It's a fallacy, right? She's assuming that deflection must improve optics. That's not what deflection is always about, right? Like distraction can work even if a news story is also bad, Erin. Because the goal can be attention fragmentation, that you're distracted by so many bad stories that you get desensitized and then you just give up. Right? And then she just reframes deflection as it must make him look better than the files, and which is another fallacy, which is like straw man of the deflection theory, right? That's what I think it's called. She attacks a weaker version of the claim. The deflection argument is typically creating competing headlines, change the narrative focus, not make yourself look good. That's not what it is about. And then she's like going for false precision and fake quantification, by going with Epstein files is 1,000% bad. This is 995% bad. I don't even know why she's picking up 995%, not 95% bad or 100% good. I don't get it. She's trying to use rhetorical math here, right? To imply rigor when they none exists. Like it's like one thing is also bad, this thing is also bad. Both types of deflections can be bad, right? She's trying to convert a qualitative judgment into numbers so the audience feels a measurement is happening of some sorts, right? And it's persuasive but not analytical. It's nothing. It's just fucking numbers. That's it. That's all it is. And then she's doing hedging and insinuation also in the end by doing like, I mean, probably, maybe, definitely a good possibility. This is a classic. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it. She gets, the benefit of spreading the allegation while retaining an escape hatch if she is challenged. Right? That's what it is. I'm just looking at my, notes here. So this is vibes to verdict check. That's what this is.
Point of a deflection, if you're going to keep making yourself look bad, almost as bad as the original thing that you're trying to deflect from. You know what I mean? I don't see the point in that. But that's it's my opinion.
Your opinion is bad and wrong. It's so wrong and bad, and it's so stupid. What are you drinking, Erin?
And then we have
Okay, I'm gonna go for another timestamp, and then we'll move on to a couple of more. I'll cover 2 to 3 more timestamps, and then we'll move on to the next live stream. I just want to show like how Erin is ill prepared for such streams. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. Right? She just ridicules and mocks. That's all she does. She doesn't bring in any substance. She doesn't bring in, like I'm doing here, right? I'm trying to present what logical fallacies are there, how her rhetoric is wrong, and how she's not adding anything to the conversation, right? So let's see, what's my next timestamp? Not that one. Let's see, 2332. 2332. There we go. Okay.
First of all, is she talking about people interfering with ICE, because they're not law enforcement? I think that's a pretty big distinction that should be met. Sure, they are an agency that enforces a few immigration specific laws, but yeah, they're not going to be called or whatever to take a crime report or break up a fight somewhere, or direct traffic, whatever, or investigate any kind of crime unless it involves someone being here illegally. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make the argument that they're not law enforcement. But Katie Joy says you can protest and everything, but you can't be angry about it.
So she's trying to build a moral distinction here, right? She's trying to relabel a thing out of existence. They don't direct traffic laws, don't do regular cop stuff, is not the test for law enforcement. Right? It's an agency with enforcement powers, yes, ICE is, and armed personnel, arrest detentions, whatever your moral feelings are, that's a law enforcement agency. Right? This is a classic move. If the definition doesn't serve the argument, she swaps the definitions and keeps going as if she has proved something. That's not how it works, Erin. She's not doing the law, she's doing vibes. She says ICE aren't law enforcement. That's not a hot take, number one. Right? That's just incorrect. I'm correcting her. There are things that ICE does that we can discuss that I don't agree with, how they do it, how they go about it. Yeah, we can talk about that all day long. But Erin is just factually incorrect here. Yes, you can argue that they are abusive. You can argue they're not accountable. They're not held accountable. They are unaccountable. You can argue that they're militarized. That's fine. And that's what my problem is with ICE. But you don't get to redefine the English language because it helps your narrative. She's redefining the English language here. That's what she's doing. Right? Like, this whole thing, they don't direct traffic, doesn't mean not law enforcement. It means you are confusing, Erin, you're confusing the scope with legal category. That's what you're doing. And once you're willing to do that, and once you're willing to rename things, everything after that just becomes improv theater. Why are you so ignorant, and why don't you do your homework before you fucking open your mouth? I just don't get it. So yeah. The next one is 3510, then one more, and then we will move on. Then we'll move on to the next stream, which will be either Meghan's or Shawn's. Right? So the next one is 3510. Yeah, let's see what's here. That's the correct one. It's just simple criticism of Erin, where she doesn't understand how law works, how logical fallacies work, how arguments work, how rhetoric works. It's just simple stuff. She just doesn't get it.
Oh, that just seems crazy. I don't. Is there a difference?
Yeah, Erin, you don't know. That's the problem. and then you pretend that you know. It's just theater for you.
Between ICE and Border Patrol agents? It sounds like there might be. I'm curious. I never really looked into the distinctions. Anyways.
So, she's asking this question, right? Is there a difference between ICE and Border Patrol? I never looked into it. This is just that she's trying to just give people a legal lecture, but she doesn't know who the basic actors are in the story moment, right? She is saying, oh, is there a difference? I think so, right? She's trying to sound knowledgeable, but it's just like nothing. She spends ages discussing warrants, authority, conduct, and then admits that she hasn't checked anything, and not even the most basic of the distinctions. Like, this is not humility, it's post hoc caution. That's what this is. She's already asserted conclusions, and then she's coming, oh yeah, I didn't check it though. Then why do you assert shit? You know? After all this authority and warrant talk, she goes, wait, there's a difference between ICE and Border Patrol. I've really not looked into it. Then why are you doing courtroom commentary on this? You know, for the last, like, half an hour. Why? When you haven't even done your research. You don't get to drive a bus full of legal conclusions, and then casually mention you never learned, what the steering wheel does. If you don't know the agencies, you don't know the jurisdiction, you don't know the policy boundaries, then what are you doing? This isn't explaining, it's just narrating, and a narration is not the same thing as analysis. There's a distinction between narration and analysis, and all Erin does is, she just does narration. That's all she does. Meghan Fox, giant boobs. Leave it to conservatives to try to avoid eating crow when they're wrong. Is she a conservative? Is that who she claims to be? I would love to know her stances on some of the, policies that will give us a clear distinction of whether she's a conservative or if she's a liberal or what. One more, and then we will. We'll go with this. Let's go with two more, and then we'll go to the next stream. How about that? Right? Spend an hour on this, and then go on another hour, and then go another hour. How about that? That sounds fair, right? So the next one is 4827. There we go. 4827. There we go.
This is ICE using force on private property. Walmart can absolutely deny their access. ICE cannot detain anyone on private property without a warrant. This is at a Walmart that I've shopped at dozens of times. Maple Grove is a western 20 minutes from Minneapolis. A couple days ago, ICE was at retrieval. Then about 7 blocks later, they tossed him out of their car. Literally on the road. After they checked his... No, not a Target. No, wait, was it? No, Walmart. I don't know why. I just thought that was weird.
Okay,
I already read
what's
this
your
one,
point? Okay, so your point is what?
No, I read it. What was it? For those who are claiming people are work as roofers. If we actually had enough people here, there weren't enough roofers for the amount of 3 roofs done and fit. Like, who's...
What's your point, lady?
I'm thinking she didn't hire Hispanics for the first roof repair or something. Like, I mean, because she says that they're so awesome and everything, right? So one of those roofs that was built couldn't have been awesome if they needed another one, like, within the 15 years. I mean, who's... I'm thinking she didn't hire Hispanic.
Huh? What? Yeah, this is the one. What the fuck was it? Yeah, this is the one I wanted to talk about because it's so stupid. KCG, living the grey. I actually identify as an extremely progressive liberal, and for as long as I'm an Erin, she's been politically right line step with my politics. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, this is the one I want to talk about. Like, what the fuck are you going on about? Okay, here we
I mean,
go.
I'm thinking she didn't hire Hispanics for the first roof repair or something. Like, I mean, because she says that they're so awesome and everything, right? You know, so one of those roofs that was built couldn't have been awesome if they needed another one like within a decade or so. It's so crazy. Like, anyway, and had 3 roofs done in 15 years. Always.
Okay, so she like this is simply a non sequitur here, right? You know, new roof replaced again, workers aren't awesome and all that stuff, right? You know, a roof needing replacement again doesn't logically prove that the roofers were bad or something. What the fuck are you talking about, Erin? This is the thing, right? She just inserts these things and she doesn't make any sense. A roof needing replacement depends on many things, you baka. Doesn't automatically prove that the roofers were bad or the work wasn't impeccable. What the fuck? And then and then she makes this argument from ignorance, like, quote unquote, I'm thinking she didn't hire Hispanics for the first roof repair. It's like she doesn't know who did the earlier roof, but speculates anyway, you know, and this is not analysis, this is just guesswork and insinuation, that's all it is. This is argument from ignorance. What are you doing? Why are you reading these posts and then you're just, just making bullshit up? This is so stupid. This whole stream is just her like reading, these things and just like, what? Nothing.
By subcontractors with Hispanic roofers. They're professional, work fast, and their work is impeccable. I don't doubt that. I don't.
Okay. And?
It's the phrasing of it all. Like,
phrasing?
Just let them hear our roofs. Just let them come and do the roofs. Come on. Like, that's how it comes off. And it's very cringe.
So you're doing a vibe check. You don't like how she said something. So that's your problem. That's it. So we are tone policing again. Like, and you're dehumanizing people. Like, what is wrong with you? Hey Zar, thanks. Yeah. These are decals. They can come up and they don't, destroy the wall. So that's why I put them up. Yeah. I've ordered a couple of more for my bedroom. I like them so much. Hopefully I don't overdo it. Feels like you're sitting in a meadow. Yeah, but this thing is like, this is so dehumanizing, right? Oh, just mocking the jobs that people do. As if they don't matter. Right? And Ash Scott from the live chat. So are immigrants taking your jobs or are they criminals? Because employed people just watch TV and go to bed after work. Are they committing these crimes on their lunch break? Yeah, it's like she's just... my problem here is she's like dehumanizing them. As if they don't matter. Like what the work they do don't matter. Like, mocking it. So, okay, someone appreciates that, that immigrants are important part of the economy. They do important labor work, right? And Erin is mocking that. What's your point, Erin? I think so I'm going to stop at this because this is what it is, right? Erin's, hypocrisy. That's what it is. Just pure hypocrisy. So she's doing, and then she's doing this like motive, intent, attribution, and mind reading, right? And she's trying to compress the original claim into a caricature. That's what she's trying to do. Even if like the post is cringe, it's containing multiple claims and it's making multiple points, right? Labor shortages, subcontracting reality, anti-immigration rhetoric, right? And what Erin does is she cherry picks the most servile sounding part and presents it as the essence of the argument. Like, just to mock. Again, she's not indulging in the argument, or the substance. She's just trying to reduce things to the most, vile thing, basic thing, and trying to mock it. Like, and then she conflates everything. It's cringe phrasing. The work couldn't have been awesome. Blah 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 blah. Like, what the fuck? And then trying to blur them together. Yeah, it's just racism and xenophobia. Like, there's nothing else in this argument that she's making. That's what it is. Right?
If you're local in Minnesota and have video of ICE arrests, aggression, or confrontations, my inbox is open. Vulture. My platform is open to help spread the word and line my pockets. Let's show the world their criminal behavior, which, I'm not even going to falter much for that. I'm really not, because I don't care if someone gets paid for it or not. It does need to get out there. So, whatever.
Yeah, but Erin's not going to do that. So stupid. Alright, I think so we are done with Erin's bullshit. We're gonna move with either Meghan's or Shawn's. How about we take a break? Like, a 5-minute break or something, and then we come back to the next one. Because I'm done with Erin's shit. Let me see if I have anything else that I can talk about. Right? Let me see. Let's see, what's this one?
Okay, I can get behind that. Slavery wasn't
okay, whatever.
That long ago, and we have so much work to do to keep fighting for equality. Swipe left, please. Don't be offended by old census reports. Yeah, all right, I get that.
Okay, that's stupid. Let's see.
I want to say local law enforcement. I think this is recent. I want to say.
Okay. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. Educate yourself first. 114. Maybe this one. I think so we are done with this. I think so we don't need to. Erin, you don't even live in Minnesota. We are pissed that ICE is kidnapping our neighbors. Meghan Fox, giant boobs. Yeah, she doesn't even live in Minnesota. But you can talk about other places, but you gotta show something for it. She's just reading someone's Instagram post, right? And then trying to act like she's doing some work or analysis when she's not. She's just sitting there and just like saying nothing.
Slayer Utica. After that long ass diatribe, you still don't.
Okay. Alright, I'm done with this. Yeah, I'm done with this. Hold on, I need to check one thing. Okay. Alright. Yeah, done. Alright, we're done with this. We're gonna take a break. Erin's shit is so stupid. Like, I can't even, like, do more than... I hope I've covered enough to demonstrate that she has no substance to present in her streams. Nothing. So, yeah. I didn't even have enough points to cover. It's so bad. Her stream is so bad. Like, the examples I gave you were the best ones I had. So just imagine what the rest of the stream is. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna take a 5-minute break. I'm gonna make another cup of coffee or tea, and then we'll start with the next one. Right, let me just get to my notes and make sure I'm at the correct... Also, like, I'm not giving any, like... I'm just talking about legal basics here, right? That's what I'm trying to do here. And Erin doesn't even know legal basics. It's just all vibes. That's what this is with Erin. That's all. Alright. Let's get rid of these set of notes. Let's bring up the next one. So what's the next thing that we are going to cover? Okay, let's see. We'll go with Shawn's channel. That's what we will do. And we're gonna do the one where Erin was present, so that's going to be nice, right? Let's see. Here we go. Was it this one? Yeah, I think so. It was this one.
Back for renown.
Ooh. Yeah, it's this one. So I'm gonna put this up on the screen, but before we go for the break, I'm gonna put one of mine up so that... yeah, I think so. It was this one. Hold on. Whoops. I'm gonna go here and could the shrooms be affecting her brain functions? I don't know. Maybe she's tired, she's overworked. Who knows? It's possible. Right? There we go.
Because Meghan's channel, where she's bringing up things like this and things like this, she's showing this to Wolf live, telling him he should correct this.
Yeah, take screenshot of it. Yep.
And to add it to his pile or whatever the fuck, and then enabling him and agreeing with his unhinged rant. Meghan, yes you are! That is definitively what you just did!
Yep,
I swear
denying it doesn't make it true. Like, when we have examples like this over here.
Like, it's literally one-to-one. It's literally one-to-one. At the same time, like, I could not believe... I was watching while I was streaming on Twitch, I was watching Monty's coverage from the other day of these people in one of their fucking streams. And I got to a part where Meghan says that she swore on her children's lives that she never spoke to Charla. And never helped Charla. And I was like, well, your kids are dead. Like, are you worried your kids are gonna get struck by fucking lightning? Like, what are you talking about? And then, like, eventually I got to the point, since I then proceeded to show a clip of her fucking, look, right here. Look, I got one right here. Let me just, right there.
Had the nerve to ask me that. Bitch, you know I was never gonna do that. Ever.
So you mean Charla was in communication to you and you were talking to her and she asked you for something that you're claiming you would never do? So you were in communications with her? Oh, whoops. I guess your children belong to me now. You gave up their lives, right? Your children are mine.
Damn.
That's how that works, right?
Damn.
I won them in a bet. I am Faye.
That's the thing with this law. They don't remember shit they say like 2 seconds ago. It's
right?
like so stupid.
Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, just since we are talking about that's a clip from her members only. What's going on with the strike thing on your channel?
That she hasn't sent any paperwork that I've received that has any legal documentation. So she's got 1, 2, 3 more days before she's out of time to submit something to Google and to YouTube to show that she's got legal representation and is taking legal action. If she does not do that, the video will be restored, so it'll either be restored on Wednesday or it'll be restored on Thursday. 10 business days from when I filed, and I filed last Wednesday.
Can't wait. Meghan, don't play games that you can't follow up, okay? We know how you are. You didn't turn up for your own hearings.
I would like to point out that this is an August 25th, 2025. Sorry, August 8th, 2025. August 8th, 2025. And if we look back at his contempt paperwork, it's dated for September 14th, 2024. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. Let me go back further. Final order. Protection from stalking final order entered herein on May 7th, 2024. So that was before the contempt. Now, when is this contempt for? Let's double check. October 2024? October 2024? It is 2026? This video came out in 2025? So a whole year later, he's making weird, cringy-ass fucking videos like this while he already has a fucking restraining order? By the way, if you notice, in the tags, Taboo Topics is tagged. Meghan. That's you. Veda's tagged as well, and so is EKC. Oops. Hey, is Steve tagged in here too? Idiot.
I know him from back in the day. We used to drink 40 ounces. No, we did not. No. Bye.
And look right here. Meghan and Erin motivate Shawn and use him to attack people they don't like.
You are presenting this to Shawn, so he will attack people you don't like, meaning me and Vanya. And Athens now, too.
We just sat there, Tammy and I both, and explained that we do not do that.
As they're currently doing it.
Well, my paycheck at y'all, my paycheck. I can't believe it.
What does Tammy get out of this? We spent a lot of time talking about the direct people that have got restraining orders. The fuck does Tammy get out of this?
I have no fucking idea. She gets entertainment, I guess, watching these morons like go to jail. I guess that's what it is.
What's Tammy gonna do? I'm curious to know what Tammy's reaction is gonna be when, like, these people inevitably end up in jail. Like, so the general course of action that would take place, like, from a processing point of view, from my understanding, is that he's in violation. Violation of the order was posted. Now he's got a lifetime restraining order and a contempt charge. If, from my understanding, what will happen is he'll get warnings. I don't know how many he'll get, though. Whereas, like, the court or, like, the court will go out and be like, hey, don't violate your order, knock, knock, knock. Don't violate your order, knock, knock, knock. And he'll get, if Charla, follows through, then she'll file new contempt paperwork, and then he'll get new contempt paperwork that he'll be too scared to open the door for again, inevitably.
He's a pussy.
Oh, yeah, because he's absolutely bitch made. And then he'll have to show up, and then he won't show up, and then...
Aya's back. Why is Zar going oops, 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 oops? What did you do, Zar? Zar? What did you do? Were you being naughty? Alright. We'll do this one. Let me see if I can bring up the transcripts. This one was done recently. A day ago. Only a day ago. And luckily it has transcripts. Oh my god, look at this. I'm not gonna bring up the screen because we know they just bring up bullshit on the screen. So, right? So, saying oops because that's what Chesh was saying. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, let's get on with it. Sorry, this is so boring. Like, Erin is boring. She bores me. Got myself a sweet bun to eat because it's morning time. Nom 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 nom. So yeah, this is from Shawn's channel. Done a day ago. And yeah, I was able to make some notes. Again, 7 timestamps and then we'll be done and we'll move on. Alright? I'll see if I can stream for another hour and then be done with it, because I don't want to spend too much time, because the debate hub is coming up, so I want to, you know, keep some energy for that. Yeah, I'm hungry. It's early morning and I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Food. Hungry. Nom 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 nom. Just like Chesh does sometimes. Oh god, she's grown so much on me. God dang it, that girl. Seriously. Alright, before we go, I'm not going to give any legal advice here. I'm just trying to point out basic, you know, procedural concepts. That's what I'm going to do. You know, because they keep mangling all these procedural, you know, concepts. And then they try and use rhetorical tricks to replace evidence with wives. So I'm going to try and dismantle all that. So the first clip we are going to go to is at 9:48. That's what we are going to do. So I'm going to go and I'm going to bring up this because their visuals are useless. So there's no point. At least we had Erin on stream to see her, you know, face and her expressions. And what was, you know, and try and decipher what was she going through. But over here it's nothing. It's fucking nothing. So 9:48. Let's see. 9:48, 9:48, 9:48. There we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. We'll start from here. Let's start from here.
We don't give a fuck about that shit.
The same for, you know.
Look, Erin's just sitting there. And just like letting them say bullshit and let them, you know, commit contempt out of contempt, because Erin's like, if I'm going down, you also go down with me. Right? So stupid.
No, whatever Chesh was reading, I never said anything was fake. I just said that nothing has been sent to me that she read. So to me, it doesn't exist. That's how I looked at it.
I read from the official court website that if it doesn't come from the court, then it could be a scam.
Okay,
there
you
go.
go.
Look it up.
And Zaya, here's something about.
Zaya just comes in and says these like most stupid shit. Like, yeah, looks like the company at the company meeting again.
You're saying that you're 100% correct, and that court does not release anything publicly. That court does not do that. They do not release anything publicly. And why would Meghan not have it and Erin not have it? And also remember, I don't have mine either. Remember that? So there seems to be a pattern here going on.
Yeah, I mean, if I get it, it'd be, you know, that's one thing. But I haven't gotten anything. Nothing in the email. Yeah, nothing.
Not like we give a fuck anyway, but
in person.
So what they're acting like is, it's like the reality only exists if it enters in their inbox, right? That's not how legal processes work. Like, these morons don't understand that. And that's because they don't have lawyers to explain it to them, right? It's like court actions, they exist independently. They will... Give me 1 second. So, court actions exist independently, right, of whether the party has acknowledged them or not. Service can occur in multiple ways. We have discussed this before. Notices can go to the addresses on file, attorneys, or through alternate methods depending on the case. Quote-unquote, I haven't gotten anything is not a magic shield. Meghan, Shawn, it's often how people end up with failure to appear consequences. Just saying. Alright? So this is their, like, one of the first Facebook law movement, right? They're arguing that if they personally don't receive any paperwork, then it basically doesn't exist. Or it must be a scam, like Zaya. Well, if it doesn't come directly from the court, it might be a scam. That's not law. That's just astrology at this point. Courts don't operate on vibes. I've said this again and again. They operate on procedure. Whether you feel served isn't the standard. What matters is whether service occurred under the rules or not. And people miss notices all the time, right? And when they miss notices, the court doesn't go, ah, shucks. The court escalates, right? Yeah, who needs a lawyer when you have Veda? This is textbook argument from ignorance. I haven't seen it, therefore it isn't real. They're also doing motivated reasoning. They're not asking, quote unquote, what's true. They're asking, what lets me dismiss this? And the emotional trick here is self-centering, epistemology. Reality only counts if it arrives in their inbox. That's not logic, that's self-centered reasoning. That's all it is. Right? So, point 1. I forgot. No. No, stop. I can't spell. Apparently. Next one is the next one is they made a mention here. This is the one that I want to
reach anything publicly. And why would Meghan not have it and Erin not have it?
So this is the one, right? They didn't reach they did not reach anything publicly. I don't know what Shawn is trying to say here, but maybe he's trying to say that the court didn't release anything publicly. I don't get it. This is but it tells us that Shawn doesn't know how docket system works, right? Courts commonly have public records. Some documents get sealed and some documents get redacted. Like in Kansas, restraining orders are sealed, right? And all the proceedings with them. Contempt orders are public. So those two are very different, right? And to say that the court does not release anything publicly. This is the one, right? Sorry, this is the one he's saying here. Hold on.
You're saying that you're 100% correct, and that court does not release anything publicly. That court does not do that.
That's not true.
Do not release anything.
The contempt processes, the proceedings for the contempt charges are public. All the information is public. So I don't know where Shawn got that from. Alright? But nothing is public. That's just an absolute statement made to dodge scrutiny. Shawn is just trying to create a fog and to try and say you can't verify anything because it's not public, so just trust us. But we can. We did. Chesh read all the contempt paperwork. It's public. So yeah. Yeah. According to Czar, if the court didn't blast, Czar said from the live chat, according to Shawn, if the court didn't blast the fact that he's a criminal from the rooftop, he's not a criminal, right? That's not how it works. And he says all this shit so confidently, right? That's not how courts work in general. So you need to do your search here, Shawn. And also, he's doing this sweeping generalization thing, right? And he's trying to deliver it with such absolute certainty. There's no jurisdiction, no nuance, no caveats, right? Just never. This is also what's called strategic ambiguity. If they can convince the audience that nothing is verifiable, then audience is forced into faith-based belief. They're building a fog machine so you can't see the missing receipts. That's what they're trying to do. Right? So again, Shawn doesn't know how court works. Next one is 4132. Let's go. 4132. Whoops. Whoops-a-daisy. Where's my timestamp? 4132. Okay, here we go. 4132. 4132. 41. Okay, let's go from here. Here it is. Ta-da!
And Meghan, as soon as this post was made, I handed it right to the police officer. He said that's collusion right there and incitement of harassment. Right there. How long?
Well, she made it right after I got rid of, another account that she was on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing through the grapevine that there might be some TROs being flung around somewhere soon.
Okay. So, Shawn over here says, the police officer said it's collusion and harassment. What he's talking about, if we go back, here we go.
It was yesterday, of Pork Chop asking people to DM her if they could see my Twitter. And I guess somebody finally did.
Meghan, as soon as this post was made, I hit it right to the police officer. He said that's collusion right there and incitement of harassment.
Okay. Even if the police officer said that, that's not a legal determination. Police do not decide the guilt. Again, Shawn doesn't know how it works, right? Courts decide that. And in Shawn and Meghan's case, the courts decided that they are guilty of contempt. And they have lifetime restraining orders against them. Right? Also, quote-unquote collusion is not default criminal charge. It's not a charge that you can just yell into existence. That's not how it works. And also, harassment has specific legal elements, course of conduct, intent, credible fear, etc. Shawn is trying to use police, quote-unquote police said, as some sort of intimidation and to get some social leverage, not as a law. Again, police officers do not decide the guilt, courts do. And that's what Shawn is doing here. He's confusing intimidation with law. Quote-unquote, a police officer said it's collusion and harassment. Again, as I said, collusion is not a universal crime word. And second, cops don't make legal findings. Courts do. And you don't win by saying that, oh, police said this. Right? You show by demonstrating that the elements of a claim are met. You're claiming harassment. You demonstrate that, whatever someone's doing is meeting the elements of harassment. Right? With evidence. And also in the right jurisdiction. This is just authority name dropping, trying to scare people. It's not meant to clarify. An officer can take a report. That doesn't mean a judge has found the elements of harassment in that report. And this is appeal to authority. That's what this is. That's the logical fallacy here. But it's the bargain bin version, if I might dare say. Anonymous cop, no details, no report, no statute, right? Just trust me, bro. The police agree with me. Right? It's also argument by intimidation. They're not providing a claim. They're not proving a claim, sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. They're trying to make people scared of the claim. And if we notice the rhetorical move here, it's the quote-unquote collusion. It's used like some magic word, right? To create high drama with low meaning. That's what it is. So yeah, again, they don't know how shit works. Next one, 4146. Oh, here. So we'll start from where we left off. Here we go.
Right there. How long?
Well, she made it right after I got rid of, another account that she was on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing through the grapevine that there might be some TROs being flung around somewhere soon.
Who else made a post like this? Last week, who made a post saying she could no longer see my Twitter, and if anybody could see it, to please, get with her in DM. So, but
you know who you mean, Charla? You're not allowed to make up fictitious names for her, right? You know that, right? In your order, and you're still making up fictitious names for her. I see.
Stalking.
Yeah, that'd be a big no from
But
me.
we're the stalkers, so.
We're stalkers. Because we don't want to go to kangaroo court. Yeah, that's Erin is right here on panel. Erin said she faxed a document to the court only. 2 days later, a person wrote name, and Chesh had that damn document.
Well, Chesh is about to interview people who were
Okay. The claims of TROs being flung around, and then plus the kangaroo court, right? Pure contradiction, right? They invoke the court as a weapon, and then they dismiss the court as illegitimate. That's not a principle stand, it's outcome-based legitimacy, right? Courts are only real when the outcome favors them. If they lose, it's rigged. If they win, it's justice. Right? They're teasing like TROs like it's a flex and then calling the court a kangaroo court when in the same breath. Right? This is inconsistent standards and self-sealing logic. That's what this is. If the court helps them, it's legitimate. If the court threatens them, it's corrupt. Right? It's also preemptive excuse. They're laying the groundwork to delegitimize any ruling they don't like before it even happens. That's what's going on here. Right? And then making this claim like, you know, that Erin faxed a document to the court and 2 days later a person named and Chesh had that damn document. Like, that's Erin version. So you're just gonna trust Erin without any her providing any evidence? Sure. Your funeral, I guess. Athens from the live chat. Why is Meg so scared to say Charlotte's name if none of these papers are real? I think so. They know the papers are real. They're pretending they're not real, and also they're trying to dehumanize Charlotte. That's what their thing is. They want to demonize her and use her for content at the same time. They're so shitty people. That's what I think is happening here. Right. So we go on to the next one. Oh, did I miss this one? I missed this one. Damn it. 2053. We'll have to jump back a bit. Alright, we'll go back. 20 minutes and 53 seconds. No worries, we'll go back. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I missed a timestamp, guys. But this is the 5th timestamp, so and 2 more after this, then we'll move on to the next stream. So we should be able to finish quite quickly today. Not bad, isn't it? Where did it go? Where did it go? 2053. Okay. Holy shit, that's a lot of fucking swearing that's going on here. Here we go. Here we go. Where is it?
I don't have to tell the court where I live because the last time I told that crazy court my address, it got put on the internet. So that's never happening again.
Exactly. You will not.
So you know where this is coming from, right? They're trying to be victims, like Shala was victimized, right? When her driver's license ended up on the dark web. That's what Meghan is trying to do here, trying to rewrite history. That's not how it works. Show us how, where did it end up on the internet? Demonstrate it. But Meghan shows nothing for it. She creates a claim hoping the other party will defend it or will say no, it didn't happen, that's where it happened. So she creates a straw man and then expects the other side to defend or to like defend themselves against that straw man. That's not gonna happen, and it's also shifting the burden of proof. Show us. And she's she's calling the court the crazy court. Courts don't like that, Meghan. It's like she's becoming more bold and audacious with each stream because she thinks that she's not going to get arrested or something. Hi Vlad, everything's going fine. I'm just looking at morons who don't know, how court works. Right? So yeah, so she's indirectly blaming the court for it. And she's calling the court the crazy court. Good one, Meghan. And what she's doing here is again, right? If the court had favored her, she would have participated, but because the court is not favoring her, she's not participating. She's treating court procedure like option participation. Courts generally need current contact info for service and case management. If there are safety concerns, there are formal ways to handle it, confidential address mechanisms, but you don't get to declare quote-unquote never again and still expect the court to operate around you. This is emotionally understandable, I get it, but legally it's childish. Get a PO box number if you're afraid of your new address going somewhere. Right? So this is another, example of quote-unquote I made it up so it's true moment. I don't have to tell the court where I live. Courts aren't, your social media followers. You don't get to ghost them. That's not how it works, Meghan. Right? If there's a legitimate safety concern, the same thing was told to Erin. If you had safety concern about the process server, talk to your state, New York. They select your process servers. Right? So again, to Meghan, if there's a legitimate safety concern, there are procedures for confidentiality, but you just can't decide that you're exempt from the process and still, expect the court to treat you like a compliant party. Law is not a buffet, you fucking idiot. You don't get to pick the parts you like and then toss the rest. There are always ways to protect an address, sealed filings, protected address programs, counsel service, but you don't get to unilaterally just opt out. That's not how it works. Czar from the live chat. Some judges will stack charges on when people question their legitimacy. They demand that you're respectful of their time and authority. Exactly. The Athens from the live chat. Well, when you go to court, it becomes public and addresses and full names are on the public documents. Yeah. It is what it is. Don't harass people. Right? And if you were concerned about it, then you should have talked to the court about it. You just, as I said, you just don't get to unilaterally just opt out. That's so childish. And courts don't like it when adults behave in childish manner. So we now go to the 46:05 mark. Okay, here we go. So they just make these legal claims thinking that people will just blindly believe them, on the 5 people who watched them, out of which all of them are on the panel, I guess. So they're talking to themselves. So it's like, dude, go and do your research or something. And Zaya just sitting there and just saying this the most stupid shit on the planet. Seriously, Zaya, you're such an idiot. I think Zaya just sits there and trolls them because she enjoys the show. That's what she's doing, in my opinion. She's a troll. She's found a way in the group. And Katie is a liar also. They have found a way in, and they keep egging these morons on, and they sit on the sidelines because she doesn't have a restraining order, right? And she just enjoys the show. Watching these fucking morons just devolve. So yeah. Alright, what was it? 46:05. Alright, let's go. Here we go. Whew. Here we go. So when they're talking about Kansas here, right? If you see this. If they're talking about Kansas, it's they're talking about Charlotte. Another way to dehumanize her. That's what this is. Right? Okay, let's go. Here we go.
Wait,
because Kansas manipulated the shit out of them. That's why.
Oh,
yeah, and we know how Chess's experience.
And they hate us.
Like that. She was told she was unfit in California. She got to Kansas and was told she was uncredible, not credible. So, and not to come back, right? But here's the thing. Here's the dirty part, y'all. Like I said, here's the real dirty part. The judge that recused herself told Chesh not to come back. When the new male judge come in, guess who snuck Chesh back into court as a witness? Dang.
Oh, now before Chesh wasn't allowed at all, right? But now then she was snuck back in. So now there's this new element that they have added to the story. Like, dude, come on. You think people don't see what they're doing there?
Yeah.
And then Meghan is just sitting there and just egging Shawn on, yeah. Really? Really, first it was like, oh, Chesh wasn't allowed to come back as a witness. But as soon as they found out that Chesh was even, able to come back, she was always there, available to be a witness, and she was in Renell's case. I guess they finally confirmed it with Renell. They were able to. That Chesh was there as a witness, and that I was there as a witness. So now now Shawn is changing his story. God dang, Shawn. You're so stupid. You think people don't notice? No idea. No idea. It was just Veda's word. That's it. Veda didn't show any documentation, no transcripts, nothing. Veda said it, so it happened. And now they look like idiots because Shawn has to modify his story now. And again, the judge recused herself. Where's the proof for that, Shawn? Judges can change for many reasons. Maybe that judge went on a holiday. Or they retired. Went on a sabbatical. What the fuck? Athens from the live chat. Fucking lol. That is not what happened. Shawn is lying out of his asshole. Yeah, he's lying. He's just modifying his story now. That's what he's doing. It's so stupid. Right? Just replace the whole procedure with conspiracy. That's what they did. Instead of explaining here's the standard for witness credibility, they say they snuck her in, right? Also calling the petitioner Kansas is a rhetorical trick here, right? They're dehumanizing Sharla and then imply state-level corruption without any evidence. Right? This is where their law knowledge kind of like turns into a Netflix thriller. Kansas manipulated them and they snuck the witnesses, sneaky tip. That's not a legal explanation. That's conspiracy storytelling. That's what this is. Courts have procedures, relevance, objections, credibility assessments, right? Rulings. If you think a witness shouldn't testify, you challenge it through the process. You don't just narrate a shadow plot and call it analysis. And calling petitioner Kansas is just dehumanization at this point. It makes one person sound like a whole state is out to get you. That's what this is. Right? This is the fallacy here is the conspiracy reasoning. When people like Shawn, they don't understand the process, they replace it with a conspiracy plot. There's also rectification. Calling one person Kansas turns into an individual into a faceless system, which makes extreme accusations feel easier and less accountable. It's also storytelling substitution. Narrative drama replaces evidence and procedure. Shawn shows no evidence that the judge recused themselves. Not that simply the judges changed. They recused themselves for some reason. Right? It's possible they did, but maybe for personal reasons. He's just adding on to it. But he shows no evidence of that. Right? And then he makes up all these things like, oh, Chesh wasn't allowed. Where? Show us. For this one, I would say citation needed. Nothing. It's fucking nothing. Yeah. Czar from the live chat, I mean, Chesh had citation. The court would have had to look at the citations and see they didn't make sense. I know Chesh does her homework properly. Yeah, like, these people, they just make these claims into thin air and then, expect people to just blindly believe them. Trust me, bruh. That's all it is. Alright, last timestamp from this one. Then we move on to the next stream after this. I'll take a quick break and then we'll start with the other one. That's what we'll do. Alright, the last one. This one is 1804. Oh, we're going back again. Okay, no worries. We're going back again. 1804. Here we go. We'll start from here.
And the one God gave him, because you ain't worth a fuck. You're an incubator.
And why are you? What court order am I not complying with? Because I took down the few videos that I was told to take down, and I'm not going against any other court order. So
and here's the thing,
you can't just like keep violating court orders and then decide to follow them and then say that you're not doing anything wrong. You already did it. You're already in contempt. It doesn't matter that now you have decided to follow the court order, Meghan. What the fuck? This is so stupid. You're still in contempt. We saw that. That's the order that Chesh read today. You're still in contempt. Just because you stopped now doesn't mean you weren't held in contempt. You're in contempt. You missed out on your hearing, and now you're pretending as if you followed your orders from the first place. You didn't. That's why you're in contempt now. What the fuck? This is so stupid.
Here's the thing. What court order does Alice have on anybody? None.
Okay, whatever, Alice, whatever. Okay, it's like they act like restraining orders are the only thing that create like legal consequences. You have contempt charges against you, fucking idiot. What do you say, Meghan? It's so widely false. Like, even without a protective order or anything, actions can be unlawful. You have a lifetime restraining order, by the way, if I'm not wrong, and a contempt charge against you. That's not an order. That's a charge. Right? Courts, and that's what the court is doing. It's enforcing procedural rules by holding you in contempt. You didn't follow the procedural rules. Because you followed them post hoc doesn't make a difference. You didn't when you were told to. And you violated them when you were told to just shut the fuck up. Again, just planning to opt in and out whenever they please. Right? Like, it's not just a restraining order that exists, it's the lifetime restraining order. You're still talking about her by referring to her as Kansas, right? And dehumanizing her, and then making claims about the court. You're still talking about the court proceedings. You're not supposed to do that. You're being held in contempt. Like, as if like absence of an order means you're legally immune somehow. That's not how it works. They are contempt mechanisms, and that's what it is. You both, Shawn and Meghan, are in contempt of court. This is false dichotomy. Either there is a restraining order, or nothing matters. Real life has a whole menu of legal categories. But these morons are trying to flatten us because complexity threatens their storyline. That's what it is. It's also category, error. They treat one specific legal tool as if that's the entire legal system. And rhetorically, it's dismissal by, simplification, making the world small enough so that they can win inside it. None of this is legal analysis. This is just performance. Authority name drops, conspiracy vibes, and contradictions. Woven together with insults. That's all it is. They don't understand procedure, they don't understand standards, and they treat court like a prop and, something they can opt in and out as they please. It's either a weapon or a punchline, depending on the moment. So fucking stupid. Yeah, they think if the police isn't, busting down their door, it's not serious. So from the live chat, they're acting like taking down the videos they were asked to take down is all that was asked of them. That's not the case. No, they're supposed to take down tweets and their comments on other channels and live chats, on other channels' live chats. That's also there. So I don't get it. What the fuck? And this is just Shawn's shit, right? And this is what Meghan is doing here on Shawn's channel. Now we are going to go on Meghan's channel to see what she is to see what she is up to on her own channel. Oh my god. So stupid. This is so stupid. Alright. I'm gonna reheat my tea. Just give me a second and then we'll start with the next one. Let's see. Taboo topics. And then Oi! There we go. I think so. I was gonna do this one or this one. This one. This one was I was going to go. I couldn't download this one for some reason at that time because I think so it was still probably processing. So I will do this one. Ugh! Okay. I'm gonna take this one out. Okay, here we go. And then transcript. Just give me a second, guys. Just listen to this. I'll just come back. I'll just reheat my tea. And I'll be back. Just give me a sec.
And it'll escalate to criminal, right?
I think... Let me think about this.
Contempt is bad, okay?
We know at this point that he is not mentally well, right? We know that.
Sure.
So I'm not going to be surprised if he has some mental health provider who might make some suggestions.
Oh, he said that. He already said that. He said on Twitter, he made a tweet saying that all of everything that's happening on the internet is being sent to a mental health professional. What mental health professional would he have access to? His own. It can only be his own. Who else could it be? So he has some kind of mental health professional in his life who needs to be doing a better job monitoring his online behavior.
Yeah, I think so. It will go to a point where his internet access might be revoked because of how he is behaving and how it's affecting him, right?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, or he will end up in a mental health institution for criminals. It's either one of those things. So
I hear those are pretty bad in the United States.
Yeah, so which one does he prefer? There will be no PC there for sure to play video games, so
the only mental health professional that that he could possibly have access to is his own. Right.
You think a psychiatrist, maybe? Alright, I is back. Hopefully we can finish this also in next 20-25 minutes, and then we'll be out of here. So, this is not bad actually. How long we have been... not bad. Almost 2 hours. Not bad at all. I'm impressed with myself. Zara from the light chat said, I mean, they were also asked not to make new content on this shit. And they did. So it's hard to say they didn't violate orders. No, they did violate orders. Making new stuff is violating orders. So they're just being stupid. They're just acting like they don't know what they're doing, but they know exactly what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Alright, starting with this one. Let's see. 2239. Alright, 2239. I'm gonna just keep it here so that we can see. Yep, better. 2239. So this is from this was on January 24, 2026, weekly roundup of week 23rd of January 2026. That's what it is. Oh, yeah. Can I still reach the pause button? Yep, here we go. Alright. So, 2239. Here we go. Okay. Oops.
Our group with your lies. It didn't happen.
Zaya, you're hunting right. Why would
post them?
anything that would be worth something? She would post it. Anything that's not worth anything, you're gonna post it all day. Everything she posts on Twitter shows
laying out online anyway. Put it out there.
And what you're just gonna go up to court and randomly play them and say, "Oh, judge, I'm coming in today and play something." You can't do that.
Wait a minute, Zaya, she can't do that.
I don't have to. I haven't been told about any court dates. I haven't been served.
It has to be submitted and all this kind of stuff.
So she's going like, "Oh, I have been served, so there's no court, no date." Again, this is argument from ignorance, right? Because it didn't come in my inbox, it didn't come in front of me, so it doesn't exist, right? You know, court actions, again, as I keep saying, the court's actions can exist and proceed independently of a party's "I didn't get it" narrative. Alex Jones, take Alex Jones. He just avoided service at all times, but the court case still went on again, without him. Then there was default judgment, and then he started, crying about it. Again, what matters is whether the service occurred under the rules or not. Your feelings don't matter here, Meghan. Not whether you feel personally notified, that doesn't matter. And the fallacies, again, as we said, argument from ignorance, self-centering the legal system. Like, if it's not treating you the way you want to, it's not functioning, correctly. That's not how it works, right? Then we go with this, like what Zaya was saying here, with like, you can't just go to court and play something, right? Here we go.
Stuff like there are levels to this shit.
Right.
Court and randomly play them and say, "Oh, judge, I'm coming in today to play something." You can't do that.
Wait a minute, Zaya, you can't do that.
I don't have to know.
So this thing, you can't go to court and play something randomly, and then Zaya's like, oh, it has to be submitted, and blah, 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 right? This whole thing. Again, this is legal ignorance on their part. Yeah, it's horrible. They talk over each other a lot. It's horrible. Yeah, that's why I'm not viewing it. That's why I'm putting the transcripts here. Because, yeah. So again, the general idea, the evidence must be submitted properly. Yeah, that's fine. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to use it as a magic spell. You are not providing context here. Civil versus contempt versus hearing type, they have different evidence rules. And what the judge has already ordered, whether it's a hearing or a filing. And then saying, I know people who practice law. That's what she said here, if I'm not wrong. Hold on, let's listen.
I haven't been told about any court dates. I haven't been served.
It has to be submitted and all this kind of stuff. Like there are levels to this shit.
Yeah, so Zaya just corrected Meghan and said that there are levels to this shit. While Meghan was trying to reduce it, like oversimplify it, that, oh yeah, that the other party is just trying to go there every day and just submit shit. Just out of randomly. That's not how it does. Zaya corrected her.
Right. Thank you.
And Shawn is agreeing to that, so what's the problem again? So both Shawn and Zaya are contradicting Meghan here. Okay.
Thank you. See?
That's a real fucking attorney person.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even kidding. I know people that practice Kansas law and Texas law.
And I'm not.
Yeah, this is the I know people who practice law is not knowing the law. Alright, Zaya? Just because you know people who practice law. It's just knowing a person shaped, it's a rumor pipeline. That's what it is. And just because you have heard it from a lawyer, as you are claiming to, doesn't mean it's correct. I had to verify it to make sure it's correct. As I said, evidence, the context in which evidence is being submitted matters. Whether it's in civil, is it contempt, is it hearing type, is it a hearing or a filing? What the judge has said, what are the judge's instructions, previous instructions, all those things matter. But Zaya doesn't understand that, so she can't explain it, or she's too afraid to explain it to this lot because she'll get attacked if she does, because at this level they don't understand that Zaya just contradicted them. If she's more specific as I am, she might get attacked. So that's why she's keeping it as vague to sound that she's agreeing with them. Are from the live chat. My friend the lawyer totally said that you're wrong, therefore you're wrong. You want to talk to them yourself. They live in Canada and you don't know them. LOL. Right? Just legal ignorance. Again, argument from authority, which is weak, very weak. I know lawyer is not equal to legal citation or legal or correct procedure. And then hand wavy proceduralism, vague references to levels instead of demonstrating actual rules. And then we go to 826. Okay, let's go to 23. Let's do it here. Yeah, the next one. They'll write the next one.
I know.
Okay.
I'll never go
Okay.
back
Good
to
and
that
well.
court though, no
the
matter
steps,
what.
especially with evidence.
Why y'all think I listen to Zai? Y'all think I don't know better? I know better.
that
I listen to
shit.
Zai. Y'all better recognize.
And I'm gonna find out
right
who's
time,
on my
y'all know.
Twitter giving Kansas all my tweets. I'm gonna find that person, and when I do, I'm gonna out you publicly. I promise you that.
See,
I will find out who it is. I think I know.
Okay. So this whole thing, I'll find out who's giving Kansas my tweets. Again, dehumanizing Charlotte, right? And then treating her as the whole state or the whole system is out to get them, right? And then again, legal ignorance. They frame it like justice when it is basically retaliation threat. That's what it is going on, and a snitch hunt. This sort of behavior can escalate harassment, actually. You know, and it's incoherent. Tweets are public. Sharing my public post isn't a crime. And if you are behind a block or you are, you know, behind a lock, you can be subpoenaed. You keep forgetting that, Meghan. You can be subpoenaed for your tweets. So whether you lock yourself up or not is just like adding an extra step. Just saying. Appeal to intimidation, that's what's happening. And then moral inversion, that's what's also happening here. Painting ordinary observation sharing as some sort of wrongdoing, while they, you know, threaten retaliation. It's like... Is Wolf seriously saying y'all better recognize dude that went out of style when Honey Boo Boo did it? I don't know. Right? So this one's done. The next one we'll go to is right at the start. 826, 849. That's what we'll do. We're almost done with this stream. We're done. We'll be finished soon. I think so. And I'm pretty much impressed with myself that I'm covering 3 streams in less than 3 hours. I'm very impressed with myself. Yeah. I think so I'll follow this method from now on because yeah, it helps me keep on track. So 826. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Well, right here, she's over here saying you're mockery of the justice system. First of all, you do not live in the United States, according to you. So, what do you know about the justice system? Huh?
Oh my God, that was aggressive.
American taxpayer the other day.
Yeah, right. She knew all about American taxes, right?
Let me tell you something, sex girl. You need to be concerned about losing your.
Okay. So now Shawn is making threats like, oh, you need to be concerned about losing your son. So Shawn is making threats. As usual, as he does. So, this is again, legal ignorance. All over again. Knowledge claims are not geographically, gated, Meghan. Someone outside the US can read statutes, watch hearings, consult attorneys, or follow a case file. Many people do that. Courts don't evaluate arguments by the speaker's zip code. They evaluate procedures and facts. That's why I was allowed to be a witness. Chesh was a witness in a case in America, in the United States. You fucking moron. It's a genetic fallacy. That's what this is. Dismissing a claim based on the source's identity or location instead of addressing the substance of the of their argument. And then it's an ad hominem argument, it's an ad hominem attack shortcut. That's what it is. A lazy who are you dodge. They don't want to answer the point. So yeah. It's just so stupid. And then we'll go to, let's see. We've done that. Okay. The next one we'll go to is... have you done this one? Yeah. 4139. That's what we're gonna do. Oh, she's an adult now. Okay. Yeah, she was a kid when I saw a couple of her episodes, and I felt sad for her when she was a kid. I really hope she's doing well now. 4139. 4139. Whatever. Let's scroll. Let's go. 41. Here we go. Beautiful.
Wrong for helping with anything, but reading out what her boss did at the time.
The doxing is not on Debbie's conscience, because I'm gonna tell you all, just like I told everybody, and I've said this about friends, I've said this about foe, I've said this about motherfuckers I currently hate. Here's the thing. This is how doxing works, okay? The person who looked up the information is not the doxer. The person they give the information to, the person who puts that information out, is the fucking doxer. It's not the person who gets the information, it's what you do with the information that is given.
She's doctor, not doxer. Again, this is he's just using a useful, distinction of what's doxing. Publication is usually the harm, right? But he said he states it as an absolute rule. That's not how it works, right? In reality, coordinating, gathering, intent, and facilitation can matter, especially if someone collects info to enable harassment and doxing, even if they are not the one who posted. You fucking moron, Shawn. You don't understand any of it. You're such an idiot. Intent matters in the court of law, actually. This is just the fallacies that are being committed here are oversimplification, turning a nuanced concept into a one-line definition, and then Motte and Bailey fallacy, retreating to a narrow definition when convenient, after behaving like part of the distribution machine. Simple as that. Debbie came to me several times to try and dox where Steve worked. And I told her, I don't give a fuck. Go away. I have those records. I'm like, I don't care where he works. That's not relevant to me. But she tried to come to me to do that. That's intent. I can post the screenshots if you want. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Found it. That's what Debbie does. She goes around and tries to, intimidate people and, she tried to intimidate me. And I was like, huh? And then he's like, oh, it's never on her conscience. Here, I will give you the fucking intent of her conscience. Here we go. I'll show it to you. Fucking assholes. They don't even know that Debbie's playing them so hard. It's so ridiculous. Just because they get a yes person, they just, Where is it? Where did it go? What the hell? Browsing. Yeah. Did I put it somewhere else? Nope. Did I put it in here? Yeah, maybe it's that. Nope, it's not that. Cancel. What? I just made the screenshot. Where the fuck did you go? Oh my god. God damn. So stupid. Where did you go? There we go. Go away. There. Okay. Save. Alright, I closed you off. There we go. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Look. This is Debbie. This is Debbie. Right? They deleted the account, but the messages remain. She's asking me first. She's trying to intimidate me first by saying, oh, do you work for Westfield? I said, don't know. She's like, oh, it's a large Australian corporation. I'm like, I don't know. She's like, okay. I'm like, don't take it personally. It's a standard response to anyone who asks me where they work or where I work. And then she's like, oh, okay, I get it. Steve works or worked for Westfield, who owns malls. I'm like, who cares where he works? That's what I responded with. So, yeah, Debbie is no angel. No angel. So, yeah, good luck with her and trying to defend her. So fucking stupid. Like, come on. Now we go to 2 more left and we should be done with this. God, these people are so stupid. Yeah, there will always be technical difficulties with me here and there, you know. So we're gonna go to... Oh, is it just 1 left? Oh, probably just 1 left. 1 more, and 1 more? 2 more. 2 more. 1:15:29. Let's go. Boop. Here we go. 1:15. Here we go. And Zaya is their in-house, you know, what do you mean? Their expert. Here we go. Alright.
Zaya, please correct me if I'm wrong, Zaya. If somebody's giving a default victory, then the person who went to court that day didn't have to show nothing because they won by a default, correct?
Yeah, she wouldn't show anything.
There you go. Thank you very much. You didn't show shit, bitch. You lied.
Exactly.
Meghan didn't even go
the
to
judge
court.
would rule right away.
I will never be at court with her again. I can.
Okay, so we know that Shawn attended his hearing, his first couple of hearings, and then he decided to skip them. So I'm quite sure, you know, evidence was presented in that hearing, in those hearings, right? Meghan also did, right? So for the restraining orders, so evidence was presented there too. We know, we read the whole contempt thing, right? And it's on Chesh's channel, you can go and have a look. Then they don't realize that for contempt hearings, the judge sees the evidence and then decides whether you're in contempt or not, signs on the contempt order, and then invites you to explain why he should not hold you in contempt. He's already he has already agreed with the petitioner because he has seen the evidence submitted by the petitioner. He agrees with the petitioner that you are in contempt. You have to convince the judge that you're not in contempt. So in both cases, Sharla did show the proof. So this whole thing again and again, that the story they're trying to spin, that Sharla did not present any evidence, so there was no evidence, is again argument from ignorance. And again, default can reduce what's contested, but it does not erase the foundational requirements. They're just treating default as the judge rubber stamps whatever, you know, someone says. That's not how it goes. Judges don't act like that. Court systems don't act like that. That's not how it happens. If it were like that, you know, anyone could get a restraining order. That's not how it happens. It's a files dichotomy, either default or proof. That's not both can't coexist when they can. And it's like, you know, this overconfidence from a legal buzzword using default to declare victory on unrelated factual claims. Wait, if the court needs things submitted into evidence ahead of time, then it wouldn't matter if they show up or not. Anyway, it wouldn't matter. No. In restraining order cases, they did appear for the hearings. Meghan and Shawn both did. We saw when if you go on Chesh's channel, right? And if you look at the contempt, like the paperwork that was read. So this is really embarrassing for both Shawn and Meghan. They appeared for the hearings. The evidence was presented. They didn't present anything. And then they both decided to skip on the rest of the hearings. Shawn appeared for first 2, Meghan appeared for the first one, and then they decided to skip on the rest of the hearings. So what happened in the first 2, hearings? Obviously, Sharla must have presented something to convince the judge to go for the default, or to give the restraining order out, and then to extend it to lifetime restraining order. The judges just don't sign on shit blindly. They have to be convinced with evidence that, yeah, a lifetime restraining order is warranted. And then, for the contempt hearing, the judge considers the evidence, submitted by the petitioner that you are in contempt, signs on the contempt because he's agreeing with the evidence submitted, and then he's asking you, why shouldn't I hold you in contempt? I agree with the petitioner here. I've seen the evidence they've submitted, and I agree with their evidence. You are in contempt. You have to prove that you're not in contempt. So in both cases, Charlotte did present evidence. So them trying to just they don't understand how legal systems work. And they're pretending they do. So pathetic. It's so fucking pathetic. Ugh. Hi Normandy, how you doing? So one last timestamp, and then we'll be done and we'll be out of here. So, which is actually cool. Not bad. Not a bad timing for me. Almost 2.5 hours. 3 streams. Not bad. Not bad. I think so I'll keep it to 7 examples from each stream. That's better. Yeah. Instead of 10. Or maybe 8. 8-ish. 7 to 8. Alright, the last one. 116.19. Here we go.
Erin made a post about Kevin. Because Alice and Becky and them tried to say Kevin didn't exist.
And yes, Kansas, you were told to copy the court. The judge sat there and
Kansas, again, they're talking to Charlotte. So she's talking to Charlotte directly. She's not supposed to do that with a lifetime restraining order. And she's in contempt anyways. And she's still directly addressing Charlotte. Oh yeah, I really hope Charlotte makes bank of these fools. Seriously.
said it to both of us to copy the judge.
Ma'am, I've seen paper. I've seen paperwork for other people that are in this litigation where he said for them to do the same thing, and she also violated them by contacting them without CCing the court.
And you don't own anything you do wrong, Kansas. You don't. You do not.
You do? Do you, Meghan? So again, over here, right? Meghan, you were told by the court, copy the judge, and Shawn goes with, she violated by contacting them and blah, 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 right? Again, the topic of proper service or copying parties and avoiding improper direct contact. These are real topics, I get it, but there's zero specificity here, right? Specificity, if I might use the word correctly. Zero specificity here. Oh my god. Who ordered that? Alright. In what filing context? Right? Was it a party-to-party message or a court submission? What exactly is illegal communication here? Right? And how do we believe you that the judge said that? It's just you. Trust me, bro. Transcripts? Anything? Any order? Written order from the judge? Signed? Anything? Nothing? And it's assumed conclusion like, oh, you didn't copy X, so it became automatically illegal. It might be, a failure to follow the process properly, and there can be penalties for that, but that doesn't mean that they didn't try to follow the process. Right? And again, category error here. Collapsing rude/unfair into illegal. As if annoyance is a statute. So, in the end, I'm just gonna close my notes. Save. It doesn't even matter. They have lifetime restraining orders. They're in contempt. They can sit on social media and try to relitigate the cases when they're supposed to be litigating the cases in front of the judge and courts. And they're refusing to do that. And they're attacking Charla again and again. I really hope each time she files a contempt now, Charla, she gets more compensation each time. Until she can cover her costs. All her costs. And I really, really hope the court watches all this and realizes that each time the court will issue an order, these morons will escalate. They will not stop. They do not take the courts seriously. They actually attack the courts when the courts don't go their way. Make fun of courts. And I like, as far as we know in the United States, judges don't like that. They don't like when laws are not taken seriously. So yeah. We saw these people don't know how their own systems work. And then they try to go with like, they try and gatekeep knowledge as if they have any control to do so, and try to dismiss if if other people are criticizing them correctly and properly, about their actions. So yeah. Any last words, anyone, before we move on and I stop the stream and we go on and we prepare for the debate hub? That's in almost 2.5 hours. 3 hours, sorry. So yeah. Alrighty, no worries. Thank you for coming, everyone. And yeah, hopefully I'll do another stream. But this was a good one. Have a good day, everyone. Cheers. Bye.
Oh? See, that would be intimidating if you were, well, intimidating.
Are you mocking me?
Oh no. Yeah.